Danil Kvyat has been talking about his time in Formula One, more importantly with Red Bull and Toro Rosso. And we all know what happened back in the day when he had a couple of races for Red Bull and was then replaced with Max Verstappen, who went on to win the next race and became the youngest driver to take a victory. And it didn't sit well with Danil Kvyat at the time, and he's been talking on a recent podcast, and he said, I felt very betrayed at that moment. It was a stab in the back, and that's life. You get stabbed in the back sometimes, you know it's normal. Now, he no longer, of course, races in F1, but you can tell that he still feels a little bit let down by it all. He said, now it's in the past, I have another good career in racing, so part of me, of course, is very thankful to Red Bull. The other part of me is still very unhappy with it. He said, I was performing really well, and I just scored another podium for the team at the 2016 Chinese Grand Prix. And then at the time, I also had a proposal to race for Ferrari to replace Kimi. That was going on behind the curtain. So it was a very difficult situation also for me mentally to go back from being wanted by Ferrari and having seen the contract, and then you go back to Toro Rosso suddenly, and then you're like, this is not going very well suddenly. The former Red Bull driver admits feeling betrayed as his team stabbed him in the back with the Max Verstappen swap. Now, of course, it was one of those things where it may have been just, fortunate, shall we say, for Red Bull that they took that decision, because now obviously you've gone on to see how good Verstappen has been. Maybe there were other things in the background that may have caused the swap. What would have happened if Danil Kvyat had stayed with Red Bull? Would he now become world champion? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure he was as good as Max Verstappen currently is, but it's interesting to hear his words about it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think he was hard done by? Do you think he was let down by Red Bull, or do you think that actually Max Verstappen was the better driver and actually they got the call right? Let me know down in the comments as always, and don't forget to subscribe for more F1 news.